Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new video, and today we're going to be taking a look at the best decks in the standard format as of the month of May 2017. And I've kind of just made this list using Seattle and the results from Seattle and stuff like that, and we're going to look at some things. And I've added in a few cards that are more techy than anything else. So let's get straight into the video. So starting things off, we got my boy Drampa. Drampa right now is basically seen play with Garbodor. Garbodor Drampa was the most popular deck at Seattle, so obviously it's just going to be Garbodor Drampa. That is basically, at the moment, is redeemed as the best deck in the standard format, or if not, one of the best decks. It seems Garb just is the best deck in the format right now. Drampa Garb is the most popular version of Garb right now. So Drampa definitely is up here. Mega Ray is a deck that is still good. It saw play at Seattle. And Mega Ray is obviously one of those decks with Emerald Break. It did gain a few cards from Guardians Rising, like Rescue Stretcher, but it did kind of get a bit of an enemy in Sudowoodo. So Mega Ray still is pretty powerful and, still puts in its work, and someone played at Seattle. Tauros is still good. Mainly Tauros Garb is the deck that people were using. A few Tauros Garb decks were played at Seattle, giving Tauros some liability and some light. Its Mad Bull GX attack is still really good and very easy to use and very fun. So yeah, Tauros obviously is up here. Darkrai is another deck that is still pretty decent. It has kind of died off in popularity a little bit. Now, Darkrai has some decent traits, and its biggest one being that it is resistant to Psychic right now, so Garb would have a harder time beating Darkrai up, but the fact is, Darkrai using stuff like Max Elixir and all that, item cards, kind of hurts Darkrai still, and it has steeped off in popularity. I wouldn't rule Darkrai out yet completely, as Darkrai Dragonair may see some light in the future as a popular deck choice. Then we have our Yveltal variant. Yveltal is another deck that's kind of died off in popularity a little bit, but it is still a decent deck. Yveltal Drampa was one of the most popular Yveltal variants to come with Guardians Rising. Drampa right now seems to be Yveltal's best partner that everyone likes using. So Yveltal Drampa is still up, and it's giving Yveltal some light still. Then we got Zoroark. Zoroark is seeing main play right now with Vespiquen. A Vespiquen Zoroark deck did pretty good at Seattle, and it means Zoroark still has its place. Also, Zoroark Umbreon is also a pretty decent deck to use right now. Zoroark seems to be a really nice Stage 1 attacker. Giratina variants are good. Giratina Garb Tauros is another decent deck, but also Giratina in stuff like Mega Ray is being played, and also Giratina as a dragon Pokemon to have your double dragon energies go to is also something that's a little popular right now. And yeah, Giratina is still seen as play. Chaos Wheel is a very powerful attack and, something you should not underestimate. Then we have our Passimian variant. Now, Passimian right now may be one of the best decks to counter Garb right now, because Passimian hits for fighting weakness on Drampa. Also, Passimian can easily one-shot Garb with the full bench of Passimian. Then you have Mew, which is Passimian's second partner, which basically one-shots Garb. So Passimian Mew right now seems to be the best Garb counter that everyone is leaning towards. So maybe Passimian is actually going to be a really good Tier 1 deck if Garb continues its reign of terror on the format. Then we have our Lycanroc decks. You got your Lycanroc Promo, you got your Lycanroc GX from GR. It's pretty simple, and Lycanroc is also seen play with Raichu right now. So you got your Lycanroc deck, and then you have your Lycanroc Raichu variants that are good. Lycanroc is a really cool card, and it definitely is seen as play. Then we have Turtonator. Now, Volcania and Turt didn't actually see any play at Seattle that well, and it didn't do too well. So people maybe were just too hesitant on playing Garb variants instead of running Turtonator, but Turtonator is still a really good card. And with Nitro Tank, it gives Volcanion a lot more versatility, but we'll see if Volcanion Turtonator becomes a promising deck in the future, as it didn't perform too well at Seattle. Then we have Vespiquen here. Your Vespiquen variants are good. Vespiquen with Choice Band seems to be a really good combo, but Vespiquen Zoroark right now is the hot Vespiquen deck to play. There's other Vespiquen variants you can test out. I was testing out a Lycanroc Vespiquen deck on my live stream yesterday, or not yesterday, the day before. So Vespiquen Lycanroc is a good deck you can try out. Vespiquen Zoroark is probably the main one that people are going to use for now on for Vespiquen, as it did perform decent at Seattle. Then we have our Laurentiis variants. Laurentiis GX is amazing. It's always been a good card, but now that we have the Laurentiis promo with Sunny Day, it's giving Laurentiis a lot more versatility, and it's making it hit for bigger numbers, which is really good. One of the problems I had with Laurentiis is it actually didn't hit for good enough numbers, because you do Flower Supply for 40, and then Solar Blade for 120. That's literally only doing 160 damage, which was really weak. So with Laurentiis promo, it's giving Laurentiis GX a little bit more power, and Laurentiis Bulu seems to be the best Laurentiis deck right now. Also, you got like Laurentiis Eeveelutions, which is good. Laurentiis Plume too, but that's not as popular as like Bulu right now. Vileplume variants obviously are here. Main Vileplume Decidua is like the main Vileplume decks right now. But Vileplume Trevenant is another deck. Speaking of Trev, we got our Trev variants. I used and tried out a Rogue Mega Trevenant deck, which is pretty decent. But you got your main Trevenant Vileplume decks. But it seems Trevenant right now with Garbodor does seem to be a very good Trevenant deck to try, as that saw play at Seattle. Then your Decidua. Decidua is always going to be good. Decidua Plume is still as popular as ever, but now we have Decidua Ninetails with like Espeon, which is also starting to make a bit of a name for itself in the standard format, especially with this evolution heavy meta. So we'll see if Decidua can carry on out through here. I mean, it's Decidua, it's that good. Then we got our Bulu variants. Bulu with Vikavolt and Tapu Koko is a really underrated deck that I think is actually really good. And then you have your Tapu Bulu Laurentiis decks, probably the most popular version of Bulu right now. Bulu, we'll see if it makes its impact in June. Then we have Raichu. Raichu's rebounded thanks to Lycanroc. We've seen Lycanroc, what am I even saying? We've seen our Lycanroc Raichu decks here do pretty decent. People are really liking the Raichu Lycanroc variant, and thanks to Choice Band, Raichu can actually one-shot now with a full bench with Skyfield. Then we have Koko decks, your Tapu Koko decks, mainly Tapu Koko Max Elixir Jolteon Raikou, Tapu Koko Electro, Tapu Koko Vikavolt. Tapu Koko is a really strong card. It didn't see much play at Seattle, which kind of surprised me. Same thing with the Lycanrocs, but we'll see if Tapu Koko can become good within the format. We'll see if its impact will be good in June with more regionals coming up. Then we have Azelf. Now, this is something that I included as a tech feature. It's not like an Azelf deck is tearing up the format right now, but Azelf was a very, very popular tech card within Garbodor at Seattle, and I guess it was here to counter Gyarados. I'm kind of confused on why Azelf was in, I guess to counter Gyarados, but Shining Eyes is a pretty decent attack on its own, especially with Magma's Secret Base, which Garb Drampa obviously plays. So Azelf was a tech card that saw a lot of play in Garb decks, so I wanted to include that on this video. Then we have our Eeveelution decks. You got Espeon GX. Espeon Garb is a very popular Garb deck. It was probably the second most popular Garb variant that was at Seattle that wasn't Garb Drampa. Then we have your Umbreon variants. Umbreon Hammers, Umbreon Zork are two really strong Umbreon decks to use right now. With Dark Call, Umbreon does seem to have a lot of versatility. Then we got Sylveon. Sylveon did not do good at Seattle, which is really surprising. But, you know, it's probably because it plays so many item cards. Garb just eats Sylveon up completely. But we'll see where it goes down the road. We'll see if Sylveon starts to make a big impact. Gardevoir is good too. Brilliant Arrow unfortunately, isn't as good as it once was anymore. Now it's kind of just down to Despair Ray Gardevoir. But Despair Ray Gardevoir gained a few decent cards within Guardians Rising. The biggest one, the most relevant one, being Rescue Stretcher. So Mega Guardians seems to be a pretty good deck right now. The fact that it's also a Psychic type means it can hit Garb for weakness. And then we got to talk about the elephant in the room, guys. Garbodor. Yes, I don't have any Garbodors, mainly because I don't want to make a Garb deck, because I'm not a scumbag Kappa. But I would just feel dirty playing that, no pun intended. Garbodor is probably the best deck in the format right now. It is BDIF for sure. There is really no denying that. Garb Drampa destroyed Seattle, and Garb just in general is destroying the format right now. Again, Passimian Mew, Vespiquen, any decks that use non-EX attackers to get your prizes seem to be the best way to deal with Garb right now. So Garb doesn't one-shot big EXs, but yeah, we all know Garb's going to be here. We'll see if Pokemon decides to ban Garbodor or not. It's something I talked about on one of my live streams. So we'll see if Pokemon ever want to try and ban Garb, because it is a pretty game-changing card, and it definitely is really huge. Then we got our water variants. Greninja is seeming to make a really big rebound right now in Standard, even possibly becoming one of the top decks to use right now. It's a great non-EX attacker. It puts in a lot of damage. Choice Band is what really gives Greninja its strength right now. So Greninja, we'll see how it goes down the road. We'll see. Then your Water Box decks. Water Box is still good, despite the grass weakness being weak to Trev, Decidua, Laurentiis, and Bulu. Lapras still seems to be a pretty strong deck right now. Water Box did pretty good. Israel Sosa played that at Seattle and performed well with it. Obviously, Aqua Patch is what gives that deck strength. Gyarados is a deck that has steeped off in popularity quite a bit, actually. But we'll see how it goes. A lot of people are still liking Gyarados, but now with stuff like Azelf, Gyarados may not have what it needs anymore. So we'll see if Gyarados can keep it up. And then rounding out this is Volcania EX decks. Obviously, Volcania EX is one of the best decks in the format, but it didn't see much play at Seattle, especially since Terminator came out. It was kind of surprising to see that. But we'll see if Volcanion is still going to be one of the strongest decks, or if it's just going to slide off in popularity and play, thanks to stuff like Garb and Sylveon, or whatever other cards are holding Volcanion back. Especially with Greninja's popularity now, we'll see if Volcanion can really keep up right now in the format. But we'll see. Volcanion still is a good deck regardless, but with the water meta and Garb, we'll see if Volcanion has what it takes anymore. So this was the best decks in the standard format as of the month of May 2017. Thank you guys for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more Ptcgo content. Leave your comments down below what you guys think the best deck in the standard format is right now. It's obviously Garb in my opinion, but if you guys have any other opinions, leave it down below. We'll see what June does with the format, and we'll see if anything changes within the month of June. Thank you guys for watching the video. If you enjoyed, hit the like button. Subscribe for more Ptcgo content. I'll see you guys on another video. Peace out.